Most people do not wash their hands. And if they do, they're washing them so improperly that sometimes I wonder why they're even bothering. I use a public restroom. I counted probably a minimum of 20 times a week because I work in a store. And every other workplace I've had in the past, people do not wash their hands. I've been in the women's restroom and the men's restroom and gender neutral restrooms. It doesn't matter. People are not washing their hands. The only difference is in the women's restroom, people pretend to wash their hands, but in the men's restroom, they walk straight out with no shame. The other day, though, I was in the women's restroom and I saw someone walking straight out without washing their hands with no shame. And a couple weeks ago, I saw someone running, literally diarrhea running down their legs, running to the restroom, to the women's room, shitting their brains out for 10 minutes, and then leave without washing their hands. I have no idea what they touched in the store after that, but I can only imagine they've touched at least the door handle, which is why I always touch the door handle with a paper towel. Now, at one of my former jobs, they mocked me for caring that there was no soap in the restroom for, I want to say, like 3 weeks straight, and nobody had an issue with it except for me and one other coworker. So I was the one that spoke up, and to mock me, they filled up, both of them overflowing, almost spilling over to the top, and added like 2 extra little hand soaps for one day to see if I would say something. And then the next day they removed it all, including the soap in the wall dispenser, just to mock me. Because they called me a germaphobe, because I wear an N95, because I'm immunocompromised. That is not why I wash my hands. It partially is, but you should be washing your hands whether you're immunocompromised or not. You should be washing your hands after you go to the restroom. You should be washing your hands when you get home, after being out. And let me tell you why. Even if you're just in your car, the gunk on your steering wheel, let me tell you, if you don't regularly wipe that thing down, I guarantee you, if you were to go and drive with your steering wheel for like an hour, which is what I would usually do for a commute, and then come home and then wash your hands, you're going to see gunk come off. Because I do. It might also just be residue depending on what material it is, but in the women's restroom, here's what I've seen people do more recently, because I don't have a gender neutral restroom where I work, so I use the women's restroom. People will wash their hands with just water, no soap. That is not washing your hands. That is rinsing your hands. In order to wash something, you do need some kind of soap, okay? I'm not trying to shame anybody, but at the end of the day, we're grown adults. We were taught to wash our hands. This is a public health concern. It's a public health issue, and it is a workers' rights issue, among many other things, okay? All you have to do is wash your hands. If you're going to rinse them under the water anyway, then put a pump of soap in there. It's not that hard. It is not a big deal. The other thing I've seen that honestly disgusts me is when somebody pretends to wash their hands. I've literally seen it happen right next to me. And I'm telling you this, people are going to say, oh my God, you're watching people. These are things that I observe. I'm a very observant person. That doesn't mean that I'm sitting there watching people to see how they wash their hands. It just means, as I am someone who washes my hands for 20 seconds, I notice what people are doing next to me, at the sink next to me, when there's only 2 sinks next to each other. I notice things, okay? I notice things. I am very aware of my surroundings. Just because you aren't doesn't mean it makes me militant in any way, okay? Let me get that off the table, because I'm tired of people. For some reason, people get so up in arms about their right to not wash their hands, which I think is honestly a fucking disgusting thing a disgusting hill to die on, okay? There are better things to argue about. I've seen someone literally pretend to hit the soap dispenser right in front of me, as if I thought that maybe that meant they were getting soap, and then immediately just put their hands under and then immediately walk away. Even if they had gotten soap, the average, and again, because I'm an observer, argue with the wall. The average amount of time I've witnessed people for the past 2 years in my jobs wash their hands is 4 seconds. I want you to sit with me and let's count to 4 seconds on the timer here. I'll start at now. 1, 2, 3, before. Do you really think you can wash your hands in that amount of time? It's supposed to take you 20 seconds. You're telling me you're that eager to get back to work? Because I doubt it. 20 extra seconds of just a little bit of space away from your desk or your station. I think that's a good thing. And if that 20 seconds can literally spare you from contracting whatever the fuck was in that bathroom, wouldn't you want to take the 20 seconds? So let's count to 20 now. I'm going to wait for 5, okay? 5 minutes, 35. $5.55. Done. And honestly, I still would have scrubbed the backs of my hands and my palms just a little bit more and some of my wrists. But if you saw what I was doing, I was cleaning the entirety of my hands. I was cleaning my palms, the backs of my hands. In between the fingers, I got some of the knuckles, although I kind of missed it on that one. I got the fingernails right here, and underneath the fingernails, scratching. Because what are you going to do? Wipe your ass and dig your fingernails in your ass and then go and touch food? Are you dead serious? Or you're just going to go and touch your keyboard and your mouse or whatever. Fine. But then later you're going to have a snack. You're not going to wash your hands before you eat it, probably. I'm guilty of the same thing, especially when I'm at home. But when you're in public, and here's the thing, if you're not concerned about your own germs, fine. Most people aren't. What the fuck about other people's germs? Are you not concerned there? And look, I wear an N95 everywhere. I haven't gotten sick since 2021. It's 2025, almost 2026 in actually 2 days. I know that people do not care whether they get sick or not, or whether other people get sick from them. I know that they don't care. But at the end of the day, this is kind of disgusting. Actually, kind of is a gross understatement. This is disgusting behavior. We're grown adults. Why are you telling your children how to wash their hands when you know damn well you're not doing the same? Yes, I am shaming. I don't care anymore. There are so many people who are like, oh, you shouldn't shame people. It's not going to help them. Who gives a fuck? We're past the point. These are grown adults. These are grown adults. They're working with your food and they're handling your drinks. They're putting their hands in your mouth. They're dentists. They're dental hygienists, orthodontists. They're eye doctors. They're, doctors, nurses. These people are not washing their hands. You should wash your hands. It's the fucking least you could do. Right? If you're not going to take any other harm reduction precaution for public health at all, the least you could do is wash your hands after you fucking dug in your ass after you took a nasty shit in the public bathroom.